Hello and welcome to the final game in our White Walker Home tournament. As this is game 4 featuring Targ Hollow Hill, submitted by Alasdair Macdonald, and Night's Watch Crossing, which was submitted by Adam East. And your host, as always, me, Rebecca Walker, joined by Richard Walker.
I am a host now.
You're a host. So we are just looking at setups then, obviously for Hollow Hill. There is no setup. Richard, you managed to get a double duped hob. Did you shuffle?
Yep.
Nice shuffling.
You know I did because I think that was my mulligan.
I think it was actually, yeah. And we've also got there a Craster and a Steward at the Wall.
No economy. I'm not particularly fond of this setup. Low strength characters. You know, they're going to die pretty easy. One consuming flames.
That's if the Targ deck is running burn.
Yeah, I've run a similar Targ Hollow Hill deck, which, you know, runs a lot of Tib with unexpected return and jumping things in and out of play with Aegon, Drogon. And the only burn I ran was Consuming Flame.
Okay.
Which means basically I can't put Hob into a challenge.
Mm.
But then if you got Drogon, it doesn't matter. So you're going to March straight off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't normally play Hollow Hill. I find it, I don't like decks where I can't have a setup or have a limited setup. So I struggle with Red Door as well, because I like to be able to get out as much as I can. I feel like I get my money's worth. So yeah, I don't really know how I'm supposed to play Hollow Hill. But I figured marching on your characters when I don't have any on the board seemed alright.
Even if it's a chud.
I mean, all tempo, right?
Yep, I guess you reduced my setup to 7 gold worth, and now you're going to get a 7 gold plot, and I'm going to get a 6 gold plot. So more tempo advantages build up over time. And when you have things like the Iron Bank will have its due, that helps create even more tempo, providing it's not cancelled. We
saw another one of Adam's decks submitted in one of the earlier rounds. That was the Greyjoy Stag deck, which he'd been refining and had won a few tournaments and things. This particular deck, the Night's Watch Crossing, if I remember correctly, hasn't had quite so much refining as the Greyjoy Stag, but he did use this to, I believe he won a small tournament that we had online a few weeks ago using this one. It's sort of based on is it Core Jon Snow? Yeah, Core Jon Snow going into all the challenges with Lord Commander to get him the extra renown and things to help speed him up.
Maybe not Lord Commander, I think it's Longclaw.
Oh, Longclaw. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the one weakness that deck has is Targaryen and Burn. Because Night's Watch Crossing, it runs lots of duplicates. And it runs lots of Craster, which will help it survive resets. And it has things to protect from resets as well with Maester Aemon. So it's well built to endure resets, but it's not very well built to endure any sort of burn.
Okay.
That can hurt its tempo a lot.
I mean, just because I'm using a map that's got a dragon on it with fire blasting out of his mouth and shit, doesn't mean the deck's got burn in it. You've
definitely run in Drogon, because if you're not, it's bad.
So, what have you done there? Oh, you've gone and grabbed a Flea Bottom Alley. That is Flea Bottom Alley, right?
Yep.
Cool. And a King's Road as well. So a bit more econ there for you. What's this one?
The Watch has need.
This is where you name something and you go and find them?
Yep. Yeah, so I know at this point, Targ Hollow Hill, you've drawn 9 cards now. That's almost a sixth of your deck, and the likelihood of finding one Drogon in that is going to be reasonable. So, and you can afford it. You can ambush it in after I've done my challenges, which means you can burn Hob completely and kill off a Chud. So I'm thinking perhaps I want to pad out my board a bit.
Yeah.
And if you've got the Iron Bank will have its due, you can have even more things to do in challenges. So it's not great. I just got to see what you have and haven't drawn.
Yeah. And I guess you just never know, right?
Even Corjon, no, can't survive Drogon.
What strength is he?
4.
I mean, I'm sure the deck has attachments to help with that. Things like practice blades and things will help increase his strength.
Yeah, I'm sure Targaryen have lots of ways to remove attachments. But let's not worry about that.
Alright, you're being very down on this game. We're not even really started it yet.
Just saying what everybody knows.
So minus pick on Hob there. Gives him increased strength. And also give you a bit of gold next turn. And then an Aemon to help save against any military claim.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've done really nicely, actually. You've got a board of 5 characters. Unfortunately, they're all quite low strength and don't have many icons.
But I've got no econ.
You just used 6 gold's worth.
That's the kind of thing you always say. I didn't get any econ. You used 3 king's votes.
Hey, that's not something I usually say. Don't make me sound like that person just because you are.
Ow.
Sick burn.
I like how Drogon seemed to be spewing coins.
Yeah. It's like a weird row of teeth, doesn't it?
Yes.
So for anyone who hasn't been following these games, I'm not marshalling anything at all. For anyone not been marshalling these games, we asked our viewers to submit deck lists to us, and we chose one deck list for each faction. These factions were then randomly assigned to each other. So this was a randomly assigned matchup of the Targ against the Night's Watch, and then the decks were randomly assigned between myself and Richard. So yeah, we have played 3 games so far. This is the final game of the sort of Swiss of this little home tournament. We'll be doing a top 4 once all these games are out, and then we'll have a final to see which was the best submitted deck, or the deck that got luckiest with the matchups.
Yeah.
So we're on to the challenges phase, and you have decided to pass your challenges, which I thought was hilarious. Because I'm sitting there in my 7 gold, and you're just like, nope.
What would I risk?
I
mean, I could risk the Age Craftsman, but I don't really need to win a power challenge.
Yeah. This is a classic case of read the fucking card.
What?
Because Last of the Giants does not work on non-neutral cards. It only works on neutral ones, which kind of threw off my game plan a little bit.
So now I'm thinking, she's only going to have 5 gold. No Drogon.
Well, I've got 5 gold left, haven't I? Because I started with 7, and I paid 2 for Last of the Giants. So I'm a bit sad because I was planning on have, destroyed a bit more of your board before going in with Intrigue. So I've tried the Intrigue. You have blocked it. I'm using Iron Bank to bring the Pyromancers back to hand. I'm using my faction card, and I get that 5 gold back. So now I have 10 gold, I believe.
Agreed. And now seeing the Drogon, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, just get it over with. This
round was actually really fun. I enjoyed this round. It was very combo-y.
Combo player announced.
I'm not normally a combo player, so I played 5 for Viserion.
I'm thinking, why would you do that? But what about the Drogon?
I know, I kind of got a bit thrown off when I couldn't put in my Drogon, because I planned on doing that, and then I'd have 6 gold, and then I was going to do other stuff. But yeah, I kind of got myself thrown off a little bit, being an idiot and not reading the card when you put some neutral characters.
Now, power challenge.
Yeah, so you can defend it if you want, but I'm sitting on all that gold, so I might get you. So I'm hoping at least for an unopposed power, which I get, maybe. You asked about the reaction. What's the reaction on Viserion?
You can discard a card to give him Intimidate. So if you run cards like Unexpected Return, because you've got 5 gold, you could chuck a card to get Intimidate, and then bring that card back into play with the Unexpected Return. That's a possible play.
So I was debating it, but I think overall I decided not to because I had another plan. So I just take my unopposed instead. So I'm sitting on 5 gold. I put in Kotho, discarding 2 cards, which includes a Drogon.
And a Devoted Blood Rider.
And then using that 5 gold, I play Unexpected Return to get the Drogon onto the board. I'm quite pleased with that. I had 7 gold to start the round with, and I've played out a Pyromancer, Kotho, Viserion, and Drogon.
Some people might say that's bullshit, you know that.
I know. It's not my deck, though. It's not my deck.
Oh.
I blame Alasdair.
Really?
Do you have a little combo, though? You're not unlike with math.
I mean, amazing, yeah.
I was quite pleased with myself for that.
I felt it was real fun to get smashed by that.
I mean, to be fair, the only thing that you lost at the end of that was the hob. I didn't win the intrigue.
But I need the hob.
And there wasn't a power to take.
He's my draw.
So it's not like I, destroyed your entire board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Yeah, not going to like it.
Guess I'm valoring now.
Screw you, man.
I can, crafted immune to the Valar. Eamon can save himself or whoever.
It's true.
Doesn't leave me with lots of econ though. But it does make Big Bad Drogon dead.
But I like Big Bad Drogon.
You didn't say that last time I burnt you.
Yeah, it's true. I like playing with Big Bad Drogon.
Really?
You didn't reset me.
Nah.
You dork.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't have any econ.
No econ. No cards really that I could play and...
But I reset you.
Kinda.
I mean, first snow when you've got 3 chuds on the board seemed good.
Screwed it. Probably should have reset there. Maybe. I couldn't put anything onto the board if I had, so...
Yeah. I think what you did is okay. Alt art at the gates there. Building 8 decks where I think pretty much all of them ran out the gates.
And Paul had to run 2 of them in his start.
Yeah. So we kind of ran out of not at the gates, gates of the moon even, sorry. So yes, we got a alt art there.
6 of the 8 decks had at the gate, so we managed to use all of our at the gate.
Yeah. It's a very popular plot.
I guess that's the advantage of having 2 of everything and 8 core sets.
I was going to say we've got a lot of core sets.
8 core sets.
Is it actually 8 that we've got? Jesus. Yep. Your mum's funny. She's just like, what should I get Richard? I just buy him another core set.
Yeah, I'll take another core set. It means I can build another deck. We just need 1 more core set to make 9. And then we can actually make 3 decks with 3 other core set cards. Because it's really annoying for Throne War when I was Team Stark. I could only make 2 decks with 3 core Rob. And then I had to have 2. So that was annoying.
Especially when we were both on Team Stark.
First world problem day.
So I've duped my Kotho. It looks like I'm just sitting on my gold.
Classic.
Yeah. So I've got... So I should have... Have I got enough gold there? I should have 7, right?
Yeah.
Did I marshal anything? It doesn't look like I've even got 7 over there.
You got 5. Wait.
Did I put some in? Oh, I put some into shadows like down the bottom here.
You little snake.
What do you mean, little snake?
See, we didn't notice when we were watching the game. How am I supposed to notice in the game?
Because in the game you're actually paying attention, not just chatting about the fact that we've got 8 core sets. Ooh, what the heck is that? What is that? What is that? Is that the new gift thingy?
Yes.
What does it do?
Good question.
I remember. Kneel as steward to gain a gold.
Yeah, in the marshalling phase, the marshalling action.
Yeah.
And?
Oh, I don't know the and bit. What's the and bit?
There's a challenge action as well.
Is there?
Kneel as steward to draw a card.
Ah. How much do they cost?
2. And it's limited.
Uh-oh.
What do you think, Rebecca?
I think it's an interesting choice. If you've got lots of stewards that are about to be first snowed, I guess kneeling them to get gold is acceptable.
Yeah, shame I didn't. Or did I?
I don't know, but you now aim on for a gold.
Oh yeah, he's a steward.
But now you seem to be a little bit short on characters, honey.
Well, that would be something to do with your reset. Cresta just flew off the board there.
I know. So I guess we're just going to get 3 unopposed challenges. Because why not? And then...
It's a stomping!
Both sitting on 5.
A stomping!
That's alright, you're going to make a comeback.
Yeah, right.
You do make a comeback.
We're halfway through the game already. A stomping!
How much do you want to bet that you don't make a comeback?
Not any money. Yeah, I think in Valar, in retrospect, Valar might be better that round because this round I got nothing on the board anyway, extra.
Mm.
And so with the Valar, I would have got.
But you've only had 2 gold because you wouldn't have got your locations out.
Yeah, I would have just put out the new gift then, I guess.
Mm.
And then the board would have been similar. So going into this round, could have played at the gate and got the Gates of the Moon. So it would be exactly the same position for me, except all your stuff would be dead.
As is though, I'm going to keep my Kotho.
Yep.
So we've got siege preparations into Valar Morghulis. So siege is when you draw up to your reserve, is that right?
It did not right now.
Oh.
Try again.
In the taxation?
Nope.
No.
So it's a dominant action. Draw cards up to your reserve.
I said draw up to your reserve.
You said in the reserve.
Well, I said draw up to your reserve, and then you said no. I didn't say what phase you do it in.
You say after reserve or something.
Oh, I don't know. I know.
I can't remember now, and it was only like 20 seconds ago. But yeah, it's a dominance action. Draw cards up to your reserve.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying, honey. My dragons are dead.
That's probably for the best.
It's a bit sad.
They are vile creatures.
No, they're not.
And anyway, they're not even dragons, they're wyverns.
Oh, right.
Because they ain't got any arms.
I know.
They're not T-Rexes.
Showing off your superior knowledge with dragons and wyverns.
Nah, there was some guy who used to try and get on my nerves, and he thought he was gonna antagonise me by saying, "Did you know that your dragons in your Game of Thrones, they're not even dragons, they're wyvern?" And he goes, "But you didn't know that, did you? But they're not even dragons, so the whole thing's a bit silly." And I said, "Did you know? I just don't really care." And he was so disappointed at his failure to antagonise me.
Who was this person? Do I know them?
Mick.
Mick? From the carpet shop?
From the carpet shop. Mick. He looks like a toe. Like,
ah, yeah. I remember that's what you always say about him. He looks like a toe. Poor Mick. We should probably give a bit more insight in this game, actually.
Yeah, I played an Age Craftsman, got into play an Underground Vault, which is nice, bringing up the econ now. Should help me in the next round. You've only marshalled a Viserys.
Yeah.
Which can be impactful because I have attachments in my deck. And I've decided to trigger the Vault for 2 gold and pay the 3 for another Craftsman. Hopefully I can get even more econ, so my next round, there you go, next round can be impactful.
Nice. So why, because they're limiteds, right?
Yeah.
So why can you put them into play?
Because they're put into play and not marshalled.
Okay, and limiteds are only counting if
you can only marshal 1 limited per round.
Ah.
But they're
put into play?
Put into play.
It's fine. Gotcha.
Cheaty.
See, I can't remember why I didn't marshal anything else. I think it's because I got that card in Shadows that I was thinking of using.
Ah, Aegon, yeah.
And I might have something else.
Hey, something that can stop an unopposed challenge.
Yep, so you put attachments out on both of them, which I was a little bit sad about, because I think the card in Shadows is it Hired Assassin that kills someone without attachments? Is that what they're called?
No.
Shadow
Black.
Black.
You're talking about the Shadow Black Assassin.
Yeah, that's it.
So it kills something at 1 strength. So now they're both 2 strength.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, oh damn, I should have done that in the marshalling phase before you put the attachment out.
Yes.
So yeah, I missed a trick on that one. So I've done a military, which has gone through Not unopposed, but as it killed off one of your dudes.
I mean, I must admit, I was a little bit afraid of your Shadows card. I didn't expect it to be Shadow Black Assassin. I kind of expected it to be Aegon raiding Kalasar, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I say, I missed a trick a bit in the marshalling phase there. When I saw you putting an attachment out and had the gold, should have brought the card out of Shadows then. But I think I was trying to keep my options open for the challenges phase. So now I'm like, is it worth doing? Because maybe you'll put something else out, but I decide that I want to get the intrigue challenge through. So I decided to go for it.
Talk about a healthy number of cards there.
Yeah, those characters you played out were quite handy actually, because card draw and economy.
Yeah. When you say card draw, it's card advantage, I guess.
Yeah. So I've got too many cards in hand really, and I want my siege preparations to trigger. So I'm just sort of debating if I want to
throw loads of cards away.
Basically, yeah. Oh yeah, I think this is where I realise.
No, you just.
Okay, so yeah, so it's in the dominance. I've done that in dominance phase.
So do you think maybe you could play something out with that 4 gold and just draw the extra card?
Maybe I could have. I can see last with the giants in hand. There's no point chucking out something with last of the giants just to die and do it for the card draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? But then I run out of tricks. You're doing a good comeback.
You're going to draw more cards.
I like your comeback, honey.
Thanks.
You're doing good.
This is the round where I get to use all of my econ. Great.
I was so happy when you played out more locations. I was like, oh, I can get him. I'm sorry, I'm a big meanie, aren't I?
It's funny.
But you do an initiative, so you can go first and do something before I destroy you. I was so sad when you got rid of the Gates of the Moon as well. I was like, oh.
I'm not going to keep it and help you out when I've got 2 other locations that are going to give me 2 gold because of your agenda.
You should just let me have it.
Dork. So not only that, I've also got the minor pick giving me gold.
Yeah, you loaded this game. This round even.
It depends if I have impactful cards. Palace of Sorrows helped.
What's that location at the end?
Ali.
Is it Gren?
Yep.
That one.
That is Gren.
He's one that steals a power from me if he wins the challenge. And if you win a challenge with someone who's still standing, like Jon Snow does, then you can deal 2 power?
Yep.
That seems good.
Yeah, everything's 3 strength. I'm going first, so that seems a bit more positive. One more character on the board might be nice. A green, so Jon Snow wouldn't have to kneel at all. But I don't have that, so he gets a long claw.
Yeah.
Bit of renown.
Renown's always good. And a practice blade as well, so you really don't want him to be Dracarys or anything, do you?
Well, that's not going to happen this round. Now at the Palace of Sorrows is out, and he can be set to 3 strength for 2 rounds in a row. That helped to negate the Targaryen problem that Jon Snow has always had. Because he's in every single challenge, he's really susceptible to Dracarys and burn.
When you say for 2 rounds in a row, are you saying that because...
You can run 2 at the Palace of Sorrows.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to play, Core Jon.
Takara. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's pretty good actually. If you can get Jon out early, or when you're ready, I guess, with 2 Palace of Sorrows, you know he's not going to get burned. Because like you say, one of the issues with Jon Snow is because he has to go in all the challenges, he's not reacting or anything, he just does. He can be, vulnerable to cards that target characters in a challenge.
One of the best Night's Watch crossing I saw was like 2 or 3 years ago. And this guy, Mike Smith, won a tournament with it. And I said, let's have a look at your deck list. And he showed me. I was like, this is weird. Like, you got loads of wildlings and stuff in it. I said, why have you done that? He said, well, everyone's playing Targaryen at the moment, and if I want to do a challenge, I don't want to have my Jon Snow burnt, so if we're going with a wildling, Jon Snow won't be in the challenge.
Ah.
So that kind of makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
But that was years ago.
Back in the good old days.
Back in the good old days.
Where we could go to tournaments and play people face to face.
Overrated. You'd need to make conversation and stuff, and yeah.
I don't think I talked to you much during games, apart from to say you little shitbag.
That's true. It's after the game than before the games that's a problem.
When you've got to be sociable.
Yeah, not great at that.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I was really stuck on what to do here, because you've gone in with Gren and Jon Snow as well. And so because you've got 2 attacking, I need to defend with all 3 if I want to win it.
Correct.
And I don't really want you to take 2 power off of me.
And then get a renown as well.
And get a renown. So I was kind of debating whether I want to come back and get you or not. But
I think the correct decision is to defend with all 3.
Which is what I did.
Because, I mean, I'm going to take 2 power from you and gain a power. That's a pretty hefty swing of power. Whereas if you just killed Viserys, for example, and got rid of Longclaw and then did 3 challenges with the characters you have, you will get 3 power, 4 power back from that. So
yeah. I know this seems like a little bit of a waste, but basically my reserve is 5 or something. So I thought I might as well just put out the Pyromancers so I can do a challenge. And then at least I can get an intrigue on the way back. But look, you're making a comeback!
Smashing it, love.
I've not seen any economy.
I've been sarcastic because that's what you always say.
I know.
You haven't seen any economy though, Bex.
I really haven't. I've not had like any locations out, have I?
Look at your agenda.
Yeah, I know.
You basically had an arbor. So, I'm about ready to smash you.
Yeah, you got this shit.
Nothing can go wrong.
Although you are top decking.
I am top decking.
You're on 2 cards in hand, which isn't ideal.
But I'm going to get you now. I'm going to get you. Ooh.
So you've gone Prince that came too late. I've gone for Marched. I figure I'll march my Viserys, get rid of your Longclaw and stop that renown.
Yep.
And also, you know, I'm quite happy with any of those that you march. If you march Gren, that takes that risk off the board. If you march the dude that you're marching, it gets rid of the -pick, which means that it lowers your econ for the round.
My rationale for playing with plot then is I don't really have anything in hand to play out, so I don't need the money. Okay. And I've got vaults anyway.
So you're still going to get 5 gold.
Yeah, so the pick, I guess, wasn't that important to me. It means I can redistribute and play it with someone else now.
So at this point in the game, you were saying, I don't have any characters in hand.
Yep.
So I think you have a pick, I think it's a Fresh Recruits is what it's called.
No, Watch As Need.
Watch As Need, sorry. And then, I can't remember what the other cards were that you had in hand. But I've put out a Raiding Khalasar, sitting on 1 gold. You've knelt both your vaults, so you get your 5. And trying to play Watch As Need. And I'm like, oh wait, I got a thing! So I've cancelled your Watch As Need.
Like, no characters. You're going to get 2 claimed with the Khalasar. Plus intrigue. Yeah.
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 Yeah. John be dead.
I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit.
It was sad because your deck was just starting to get going, and I think if you'd got that Watch As Need off, it would have been maybe a different round.
Might
and
have
if
got
I
some characters out, yeah.
Yeah, and if I hadn't had the Khalasar as well. But unfortunately, it was, it was sad that the deck didn't quite manage to kick off, but the Night's Watch deck is actually really, really fun to play, I think, and works really, really well. We'll have a look, though, at the Targ deck first. So we'll just have a look at our pros and cons for that one. So the Targ deck then had quite a lot of stuff that we really liked about it, and a couple of bits and bobs that we might have changed. So we'll just run through those now. Character base, we decided that, we quite liked the characters. On a whole, there were lots of like little individual modules within the character list that sort of worked well with each other. So things like control aspect of things, you had a good range of characters for control with like the Pyromancers, Drogon, Dario, Jaqen, Varys, Lysa. They're all good ways to basically stop your opponent being able to do stuff or sort of dissuade them from doing things. The only downside that we saw with the character side of things was that, firstly, we have the Hollow Hill as one of the locations, right?
Yep.
And this doesn't work if you've got lower characters on the board.
That's right.
Yeah. So there are actually 9 loyal characters in the deck. So with Hollow Hill, 9 loyal characters is just a little bit conflicting. There's a chance that you're not going to be able to trigger your Hollow Hill. And as there isn't that much draw in the deck anyway, that could be an issue. And the other small problem that we had with the character base was kind of to do with the events. So we've got 6 targets for Last of the Giants. There's 2 copies of Last of the Giants, but only 6 characters that they'll actually work on. Now, the characters they work on, we've got Lysa Arryn, Varys, Jaqen H'ghar, and Pyromancers. They're all pretty impactful. So, if you can last the Giants in, then that's cool, they're going to do something. But there's just not that many targets for the event. So I think it's just a fine line. What do you think?
Well, the good thing about that is if you don't have any target for Last of the Giant, you've got plenty of ways to discard the card. So you can discard the Last of the Giant itself for Viserion trigger. You can discard it for Kahollo's trigger. So there's things you can do with excess cards in hand if you don't need them for that purpose. Yeah,
it's very true. Talking the discard, there's actually a really good discard module in this in the deck. As you mentioned, you've got Viserion, Kahollo, you've got Kotho, Consuming Flames. So these are all things that are helping you put things in your discard pile. Things that cause you to chuck cards, if you're chucking a Mormont or a Missandei. Mormont's going to go in shadows, Missandei into play.
Yep. I don't know if there's an issue with so many neutral cards in Kotho, because Kotho does need 2 Targaryen cards to discard. But otherwise, there's no problem with that. The only draw plot was Siege Preparation, and the only other draw in the deck was really Hollow Hill. I guess Aegon's kind of draw.
Yeah, Blood of My Blood, kind of draw. I mean, it's a card for a card, but it's at least a targeted card. So yeah, not that much draw. But with all the discard stuff, one of the good things about this deck is the unexpected return.
Yep.
So you saw in the first round of this game, I could chuck Drogon and then just put him into play using the unexpected return because I was like just a gold short for ambushing him. And I was able to use that Drogon discard to help me put my Kotho into play. If I'd had the Missandei or the Freed Men, I'd be more than happy to chuck them because obviously they can find their way back into play as needed. So although there's a lot of discard, they will work really nicely together actually.
Yeah, it's a deck with a lot of synergies, which is it's quite nice. It's not very nice to play again. It's quite nice. I wonder if it's one of those decks where if you don't have a very good turn 1, if you don't have a good 9 cards when it comes to your marshalling phase or your challenge phase, turn 1, that you can just lose. If you come up against the deck with loads of duplicates, you can't just Valar the board away and then come back with your stuff all the time. But
if the opponent's characters are low enough strength, you can just Drogon through the dupes at least.
Assuming you found your 2 Drogon.
Or you can Consuming Flames them.
Assuming they're lower than 3 strength.
So there are ways, but like you say, if you've got like bigs that are duped, it's a little bit harder to get rid of them. But yeah, I think I really like this deck. It's got really good control, really nice synergies. And the only thing I would say about it is you really have to think about the order that you do things in.
Not new player friendly.
Not new player friendly at all. It's quite fun to try and plan around, as long as you remember that Alasdair Giants only works on neutral characters. But, you know, I mean, you saw in that first round, like, as an example, Alasdair Giant something in, I'm bank that character to get the gold, discard cards to ambush something in, use the gold for an expected return to bring something that you chuck back into play. When it's challenged by 5, if the other card was a freed men, you can put them into play. So there's just loads of nice little combinations to go from having nothing on your board to just flooding it with lots of different characters. So yeah.
I guess that's one reason why we don't particularly like the Hollow Hill. I can see how it's useful for finding an important character, like one of those neutrals while you've got after the Giants. That's quite nice. However, it does mean that you can't have Viserion or Drogon or, you know, any one of those other loyal characters that you got. Shadow Black Assassin's loyal. I think there were about 8 or 9 loyal characters.
Oh, you mean the Hollow Hill location? I was thinking the agenda and I was like, how's
the location.
But yeah, no, I totally agree.
I'm not sure if 2 copies of the Iron Throne are necessary. I can appreciate why 1 might be nice for the reserve with siege preparation, so you can draw up to 8 cards.
Does Pyromancers work if you win Dom, or is it just in the dominance phase?
It's a dominance action.
Okay.
So you discard a power to blow up one of your opponent's locations.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if maybe the Iron Throne was in for that, but if it's just a dominance action, then yeah.
Yeah, you can just giant them in, do the thing.
So yeah, maybe not needed with the Iron Throne. Could be swapped for something.
Or 1 copy, yeah.
Yeah. Should we just look at the actual deck list? Yeah. So there we go, got the actual list itself. You can see there that the plots are very nicely geared towards controlling, you know, all the different aspects that might be an issue for them.
They all reduce your opponent's stuff in different ways, bar 1.
Yeah.
So Exposed gets rid of all your opponent's shadows card. March gets rid of a character. First Node gets rid of Chuds. Valar gets rid of characters. Political Disaster gets rid of location. So the only thing that is different from that is the siege preparation, which is very much needed. Yeah,
because there is quite limited draw in the deck. I like Marched as well. It works nicely with Viserys for your attachment control. So if you can get a Viserys on the board, any negative attachments you want to get rid of, you can just March Viserys.
That's another loyal character.
Ah, yeah, even more loyal characters then.
I think that might be in the 9 we count.
Yeah.
Father of Pride is good. It's only a 1-off, but it fuels the discard theme. So there is quite a lot in the discard theme with Kaholo, Freedmen. Hago means you can get a card back sometime. Kotho discards cards to put him into play. Viserion.
Nice to see a couple of Hands Judgment in there as well, as there are fewer events sort of going around recently.
It'd hurt to have your Iron Bank cancelled.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, maybe swapping an Iron Throne for a Plaza Pride might be nice. Just make it a bit easier to find. But yeah, I mean, generally, I quite like the list. It's scary when a raiding Khalsai hits the board.
Yeah, the extra acclaim, because it does have quite a strong Blood Rider theme through it. With devoted Blood Riders to boost the strength of Hago, Jogo, Kotho, Rakaro. And of course you've got the Raiding Khalsai for increased claim. Nasty.
But yeah, nice spread of icons as well on the graphs over there.
You really like this, don't you?
Yeah, I like this deck. It was fun to play.
Let's hope you don't get it in the semi.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be randomly allocated, so fingers crossed they get it again. Let's have a look at the other deck then. So again, there was lots of things that we quite like about this deck, lots of things that work really nicely together. We've got 3 of most of your key characters, which means that, you know, you're going to be able to dupe those that you want to keep. You've got 3 Aemon. I'm getting a look. Is there not 3 Aemon?
I don't know.
We've got 3 of the Three Finger Hob, Jon Snow, Gren as well. There was 3 of. So you've got 3 of the sort of unique characters that, you know, are going to want to be duped in preparation for that Valar. And most of the characters in the deck support Jon Snow in some way, whether it's helping with card draw or, for example, Gren letting Jon Snow sort of steal a couple of extra of your power, or your opponent's power even. Three-Finger Hob to help you with the card draw and things like that. Craster if you need to bring everything back after your Valar. So lots of things to sort of help with that. Now, the downside of the Jon Snow in this deck, as we sort of discussed briefly before, is Jon Snow has to go into every challenge that a Night's Watch character is attacking with. Now, although this is great, it means that you're always going to have that extra bit of strength in the challenge. There are negatives. Richard, let's run through those negatives, shall we? Seems you're sitting there.
He can die.
He can die, yeah, from?
Burn.
You gonna elaborate?
No.
No? Thank you, darling. Your input is greatly appreciated. So if he's in the challenge, it means that he's not safe from things like Dracarys. You can just burn effects and things like that. You can just target him straight away. But it's not just against Targ that this is an issue. There are other decks with other characters that will, obviously target participating characters. So, for example, if you look at Martell, Southern Messenger, a character with only one icon, if they're in the challenge, the Southern Messenger comes into play and can take that character out of the equation.
True.
There are other characters as well that do things like that.
I guess that's why the 3 Dragon Glass Dagger to put on Jon and make him immune to character abilities.
Yeah. So that
helps against the Martell thing. And against Burn Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of things that support Jon against these kind of issues, which is something that we liked.
Because Jon had a lot of weaknesses in the core set, mainly the Targaryen thing, but there were other things as well. He was relatively expensive, but I think this deck is built in a way to protect him against those things. If you don't see Jon Snow, they used to be weak. Well, we've got the Prince that came too late. Jon Snow suffers against Targ Burn because he had to go into every challenge. Double Palace of Sorrows. Dragon Glass Dagger to protect him against character abilities which might remove him and get rid of him. So the deck built in a way to mitigate his downsides. Yeah,
which is something that we thought was actually really nice to see. It's nice to see core Jon Snow being used, because generally you see the big one, don't you?
Yep.
So we've got a nice range of things for Jon Snow, but one of the issues that we had with the plots was that, for example, the Prince that came too late, although it's great to go and find Jon Snow, if Jon Snow is dead, there's not really anyone else that you're that bothered about going and getting. So, I think like the best target was maybe Howder? Or
maybe
Aemon?
Sure. A bit of a waste of that.
Yeah, so there's not really another...
Craster?
Maybe Craster. There's nothing really that you particularly would want to go and grab, nothing that you're desperate to have in the deck. So that's one little thing. It would be nice to see another option if needed. But the plus sides of the plots, though, really nice range for your econ, your control, your tempo. And Valar Morghulis as a reset works nice with the fact that there's a lot of dupable characters, the Aemon to save, and Craster if you're in dire need to bring everyone back. Should we go through the draw and the tempo?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Right, yeah. Plenty of draw in there and card advantage. So you've actually got the new gift, which works okay here. You've got plenty of stewards, so even if you had a steward at the wall, you might want to leave it standing so you could do an intrigue and Jon Snow would participate. Or if you don't need to, you can kneel it and get a card. Three-Finger Hob, we all know how good he is, can get your card. Age Craftsman, good tempo advantage, allows you to get your econ and locations on the board.
Yeah, they worked really nicely actually, didn't they? Ignoring the fact that I put disastered you.
They gave me the locations I wanted. Time of Plenty at the gates. Prince and the Watch has need. Now, speaking of the Watch has need, that's one of the things I didn't like about the deck. I think that should definitely be fresh recruits instead, because the Watch has need. You can name builder or steward and you can get a couple, but I think there's a lot more value in getting a ranger, a steward and a builder to your hand of your own choice from the entire deck. Be they characters that you want to put onto the board, or be they all duplicates that you want to dupe your characters with. and that's a lot better going with your Valar Morghulis choice of reset, I think. And if you're missing a Ranger or Red Icon to go with Jon Snow, you play that, you get the one you want, you got everything on the board.
Yeah, I mean, talking of the Rangers, one of the things that we did feel was that the deck's a little bit light on military. In fact, when we look at the deck list in a moment, you'll see how few military icons there are. But this is mitigated with the Praxis Blades and doesn't take into account Unsworn Apprentices. So we do have
the Masons as well, Shadow Tower Masons.
Yeah, the Masons. So those are sort of like invisible military icons that can sort of pop into play as needed almost. But one thing that we did think maybe is we're looking at the attachments here. There's Weirwood Bows in the deck. We understand why they're in there. They sort of discourage your opponent from defending if they think that their characters are going to have 0 strength or their strength reduced. So we understand why they're in there, but we feel like maybe swapping out the Weirwood Bows for a couple of Rangers instead might be good. And then that works even better with your fresh recruits for the swapping for the Watcher's Need, because then you've got a few more Rangers to go and choose from as well. But yeah, I mean, that little interaction might be nice, we thought. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
There's loads of econ in the deck. Absolutely loads of econ. I mean, I think there was 10 limited. Plus you have loads of, you got minus picks as well on top of that.
Yeah. You've got the Flea Bottom Alley. You've got the new gift, gets you gold if you want it, Kneeling a Steward. The plots had a lot of gold, and I think...
I felt like the plots had a lot of gold, a lot of plot economy, and I think that is likely unnecessary. Although if you swap the event to Fresh Recruit from the Watch Has Need, that might just be more appropriate.
So let's have a look next then at the actual list itself, and then we can talk about it a bit more thoroughly. So yeah, just looking at those plots then, you can see we've got At the Gates to make sure you've got some economy in play. Palace of Sorrows are both 5 gold and Time of Plenty 6 gold. So they're really nice econ plots. You've got Loan from the Iron Bank as well. It's going to get you a nice chunk of money if you need it.
Money. And
then Prince Who Came Too Late, although technically is low in the gold that you get on it, if you're grabbing something like Jon Snow, it's actually a much better value plot. So yeah, loads of economy in the plots there. One thing that we did like about the deck, actually... Oh yeah, and you can see the military icons. Sorry, I just noticed it's got like 2. But as we say, a lot of those are invisible. So yeah, one of the things that we did like about the deck is it's relatively straightforward to pick up and play. In comparison with the Targ deck, where you need to think a bit more and, you do need to sort of be aware of different interactions. With this deck, you can just play out your characters. You've got to do 3 challenges. Your main target is get Jon on the board with a couple of supporting characters. If you're against Targ, give Jon the strength boost he needs to be protected, and then just go for it.
Just give him daggers, right?
Yeah. I think it was just unlucky in this game. Your card draw was a little bit stinted, and I had a really, really good opening round. So I think, in other games, it would have done a lot better. So definitely give this deck a go. If you want to make any little switches out, obviously you can take our comments on board, or you can completely ignore us and just go with how Adam's built it. Is there anything else you want to say about this that we didn't mention previously?
No.
No? Happy with everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Longclaw, by the way, really, really good to put on Jon. If he's getting renowned for every challenge that he's winning. Seems awesome.
Good. Seems good.
Very, very good. So, cool. I think if that's everything from you, I can't think of anything else I wanted to say about the decks. So yeah, feel free to give the decks a go. And we'll be playing the top 4 games, which will be, we don't know who's against who yet, but we've got, the Targ deck? Martell. Who else won? Greyjoy and Farah. So we'll be randomly allocating those decks against each other, and then randomly allocating the decks to ourselves, and we'll be doing those for the semi-final sometime this week, and hopefully get the first video out next weekend.
Excellent. Goodbye, people.
If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by going to patreon.com/The White Walkers. And yes, goodbye, and thank you very much for
Goodbye.
watching. Bye.